Hello, Hello, Dear Son by Kristin Dimitrova. I see her entering the living room diffidently, looking around. She doesn't know what to expect. Our family childcare home is famous for accommodating the worst cases of disability. Those who were saved from Mogolino are with us. They are world famous, although not exactly as actors. There is a documentary about them. I want to become famous too. Well, not exactly in their way, and so far I'm not sure how. But one has one's vanity. The woman is perhaps a journalist. She's holding a notepad and a pen. Or maybe a psychologist or a writer. Psychologist, journalist, these are professions. People outside the care home have professions. One day I may have a profession too, because I already got my diploma in cooking. The profession is something like a second name of a person. If the first one doesn't work properly, you add a second one, and it often overtakes the first one completely. Isn't that what the nurses use? The doctor is here, they say. Chop, chop. The driver's waiting. Did the deliverer come? That's what having a second name means. My diploma gives them the right to say, the cook will help us with peeling the potatoes. And that's a fact. I help with peeling the potatoes. I'm good at it. Moreover, I like to help. When a telephone rings, I know whose telephone's ringing and fetch it to the right person. When they start laying the table, I hurry to take part. Without me, they are bound to blunder. I know how each of the nurses drinks her coffee, how much sugar she likes, milk or no milk, everything. But they don't call me the cook. Here in our care home, our names work all right. We call each other by name, Svilen, Zorko, Ashime, and Ludmil from Vyara Center. That's how we call each other. I am Sister Gergana. That's right, sister. We should show some respect for each other. I'm the only one here who can talk, but calling me cook would be a bit over the top. No need to flaunt one's achievements in front of others, especially if they're your friends. I rush up to the woman and hug her. I don't want her to feel out of place here. Obviously, she hasn't seen too many like us. We, however, have seen lots like her. They come here, sit at the table, talk to the nurses, enter this and that in their documents. I have to explain about the documents. They are sheets of paper people outside our home take very seriously. They carry them around in folders. They hand them to each other as if they are beautiful paintings, things to admire, or pictures of me. There are many pictures of me on the walls here. On one of them, I'm wearing a lovely dress. I've just taken my diploma from the cook school, and this is our prom. And the man next to me is, you guessed right, good for you. The man next to me is the president. I am ready to finish high school every year, just for the sake of the prom. But no chance of that, it seems. Even the nurses in our care home have finished only one high school each. They weren't allowed more. That's what the documents read. I don't see how they read it, but if the nurses say so, it must be true. We trust each other here. No trust, no friendship. You can see us together with Ludmil from Vyara Center in the next picture. Handsome, isn't he? He doesn't look like me. He looks more like the people outside. You can take him for one of them in the street. But I know he is one of us. We recognize each other. Hence the friendship. They get us together for all the important holidays, Easter, Christmas, Children's Day. We are grown-up people. I am 22, and perhaps you're wondering why on earth we should celebrate Children's Day. But we never grow much. We never come out of the light of this single holiday. Take it as our professional day. You always need to know each other's professions, your second names, don't you? Well then, Children's Day represents everything our profession is. Some holidays are transitory for you. For us, they are eternal. I almost forgot to mention, we dye eggs for Easter. As for Christmas, we decorate a Christmas tree and perform on a real stage, dressed up in red capes. Last time, we played The Wolf and the 7 Little Kids. You might say I brag a lot, but can you guess my character in the play? The wolf? No way. I'd never play such a thing. I protect everyone. I wash them. I help them eat. Even Svillin, who never lets anyone touch him, allows me to comb his hair. I played Mother Goat, of course. I take care of everyone. This picture of me, that picture of me, you might say they've taken my picture a bit too often. I approve of this. The visitors look at them and start smiling. That's because I'm smiling in them. I encourage people to cheer up. Life is beautiful. People's eyes are beautiful. I am beautiful too, and sometimes I throw myself kisses in the mirror. Everybody does it, right? No? You don't? Aren't you happy with yourself? If you aren't, you should start learning right away, because time flies. Take it from me, Sister Gergana. No pair of eyes is the same. I know 2 twin brothers. The first one is wonderful, because he's got a car and drives me to Sofia. This is Dimo. The other is almost like him, but he's got no car. Sometimes even the nurses can't tell them apart. I, however, recognize them at once. How can I ever mix them up? Their eyes are different. They say different things. Dimo's eyes say, "Hello, Gergana. I've some great news for you." A gorgeous grey rain is falling outside. The sky has darkened like a switched-off phone screen, and this is the best time for adventures. Are you ready for Sofia? Am I ready? Does it need asking? I rush to pack my clothes in the hold-all. He's the only one allowed to call me just Gergana, even with his eyes only. I am Sister Gergana for everyone else. We haven't come to this world to offend each other, have we? While his brother's eyes say, "I am not Dimo. Don't expect anything from me. I won't stay long. I can't get used to you all. As for you, girl, you even scare me a bit." I know what's in your head, brother of Dimo. Don't worry. You are a good man too, even though you've got no car. You just can't hear what my eyes say yet. Some people take longer to learn. The nurses hear them and they appreciate my suggestions. If a new nurse forgets someone's pill cup, I immediately remind her with my eyes to bring it. If she still doesn't get it, I have to use my voice, so I go, "The pill, the pill." She jumps, startled, but the other nurses translate my words for her. Speaking is difficult. Speaking is a very roundabout way to communicate. That's why arguments start sometimes amongst the nurses. They talk, but they can't see each other's point. They squander time talking. My talk is not like theirs. It thunders, it rumbles, it slurs the words. Sometimes even I get surprised by the loud noise that comes out of my mouth. I know I make it hard for them to understand me, so I try to be brief. Brevity is clearer, and I love them. I don't want them to blame themselves for not understanding me. When you love somebody, you take care of them, and you try not to make them sad. The people who come from the outside are usually sad. They don't know it, but I do. Sometimes their shoulders are slouched. Sometimes their eyebrows are tied in a tight knot above their noses. Sometimes they are too much beautified with bright colours on their eyelids. Lilac, green. By the way, pink is my favourite colour, so in case you'd like to surprise me, please don't forget that. But still, they are sad. I can hear what their eyes say beneath the bright colours. They have worries. They want more from life. They get less. Now these calculations are a mystery to me. Why do they need them? I was never able to learn maths, maybe because I can't understand calculations. Yet I know all the numbers, from the first to the last one. They are beautiful. I can write them forever and fill a whole line with them and then some more. I just need someone to give me the start. I like number 1 because it comes first. I like the 0 because it looks like an empty face, the face of a lost child. I draw it and that's how I save it. Nobody gets lost from our home, and this is good. I keep anyone from getting lost. I always know who's around. How many nurses are with us? Who's sitting where? Whether anyone's wheelchair got stuck in the other room, or somebody tried to sit on my chair. My chair is the blue one, and no one sits there but me. You can sit on the yellow chair, it's free, but the blue one is not. Even when it looks free, it is not. I know everybody here as well as I know the numbers. I help them with changing the pampers, serving the food, pushing the wheelchairs, wiping their mouths, corners when the soup comes out of them. They don't object. They know I love them. My other favourite number is 6, because you write it in one stroke. You just draw a curve and there it is. Number 5 needs artistry. You have to take the pen off the paper and draw its flag. But when you come to it, wow, the freedom. It's like a boat in the sea. I've been to the seaside, so I know what I'm talking about. I've spent a holiday in Skorpilovtsi, a town on the Black Sea coast. Number 9 is just like number 6, but with a different meaning. It's something like Dimo and his twin brother. Their eyes say different things, and of course Dimo's got a car. He drives me to Sofia in it. There is a hospital there where I get my health checks. I was born with a flaw in the heart. Its valve stays open, and twice a day I have to breathe oxygen. The valve is something like a door. That's what the doctor explained to me. It opens, it closes. Mine is wide open. My mother had no money to take me from Silistra to Sofia, where they could give me the operation. She still lives in her ugly house outside Silistra, but more about it later. I am her 12th child. Number 12 begins with the number 1 and ends with the number 2. But who needs to know that? 12 just means a lot. Not all my brothers and sisters are with Down syndrome like me. 2 of them, for instance, have a university degree. A university degree is something like my cook's diploma, but even more so. They were born ordinary. Because of this heart flaw, I can't dance as much as I'd like to. My favourite song is Hello, Hello, Dear Sun. When I hear it, my feet start singing, my hands start singing, even my heart with its open door starts singing, and I dance until my fingers go blue. My song. One day we listened to it, on my insistence, 12 times. Finally, Desi, who works at our care home, asked me, "Now what shall we listen to?" And I told her, "Hello, hello, dear sun." "Well, enough is enough," she said, and switched on the TV. I warned you that 12 is a lot. I haven't introduced my friends to you. The one who lies naked in the ball pool with only his pamper on is Svillen. Why does he stay naked? He doesn't say. He can't explain anything anyway, but whenever we dress him, he immediately takes off his clothes. We cover him with a blanket, but he throws it away too and just buries himself deeper into the balls. Svillen is the reason why we keep the ball pool room warmer than the rest. We don't want him to catch a cold. He was born with peculiarly bendy bones. He can even mount his legs on his back if he cares to. That's Svillen all over. If there was a competition for body bending, he would take first place. There are competitions for speed, strength and perseverance. Why not body bending? Svillen can't talk, but he can listen to music. He beats time with his head. He prefers Bulgarian songs, probably because he can understand the lyrics. Svillen is my friend. He lets me comb his hair. Just me, nobody else. The visiting woman approaches him, and he pulls the blanket over his head. You already forgot about her, didn't you? I didn't. I never forget anything. I wouldn't say that Svillen hates new people. No, he just doesn't trust them. He came here from Mogolino, the bad place of hunger and loneliness. I don't blame him. There was no one there to comb his hair. As you can guess, we didn't know each other then. Sitting on the floor close to him is Villy. She is blind. Her eyes are like tiny dots, sunk by being heavily crossed out. Villy is small, tiny built, and people take her for a child. She is not. She can walk on her own, only if she holds on to the nurses. But we don't carry her in a blanket the way we do with Svillen. Monica is the other tiny girl. She has her own wheelchair and doesn't need a blanket. She comes from Mogolino too. She can't walk, but she can see, which is an important ability. As for Rumen, he has quadriparesis. He can move neither his feet nor his hands. I, however, can move my own quite well, so I help him. When you are born with more abilities than the rest, you must share them, and I share gladly. Those two at the table are Marianne and Ivan. Both are in wheelchairs. If you don't know them well, you may take the one for the other. I am talking about the visitors. We here know them perfectly well. Marianne eats a lot. Whatever you give him, he gulps it up. You shouldn't leave your lunch anywhere around him if you care about it. Ivan is a violinist. That's how he was born, although he's never touched a violin. Have you ever had the feeling, and not just the feeling but the certainty, that you were born for something distant? Something that has never happened to you, nor will it ever happen. A pirate or an astronaut, or an Indian chief or a sorcerer, or a Martian. Or something simple like a writer, for instance. But there's no one to teach you the alphabet. I watch a lot of films, and the people there keep on saying, "Follow your dreams. Do not give up on your dreams." But how? How can Rumen become a doctor if he can't move? How can Villy become an artist if she was born without eyes? How can Svillen, who beats time so attentively with his head, become a dancer? Made-up dreams can only make you unhappy. Keep away from made-up dreams. I've had a bad experience with them. But Ivan, the violinist, is not a victim of made-up dreams. He doesn't dream. He is what he is. At the first sound of music, he raises his fine hands with long, thin fingers and starts moving them as if he's holding a bow and a violin. He looks like a real violinist with an empty spot in the middle. So what if there isn't a bow and a violin there? Does that change him? I, for instance, am very good at puzzles. But without puzzles, I am still Sister Gergana. Everybody I introduced you to is aged between 20 and 30. They look like children because they are small in size, and in a way, they remain children. But if you look into their faces, you'll see how much they've been through. Zorko isn't like them. He is a real child, a 3-year-old. In the daytime, he lies on his special bed in the common room. You've never seen such a bed, round and soft, like the ottoman of a fat sultan. Zorko, unfortunately, will never get up from it. He has spinal paralysis. The doctors say his brain is as thin as a potato peel. So how do you get up with a potato peel in your head? And worst of all, this potato peel, which doesn't help him to get up, helps him to feel pain. He often gets the pain and cries, yet he is so beautiful, with his long eyelashes. He hasn't been here long. One day his grandma and grandpa brought him. They had looked after him well, taking him to the doctors. But finally they lost hope. Their grandson would never stand up and walk. Like the other boys, he would never talk. So they came to our care home. They both cried. They kissed him. Leave-taking means the end, but every leave-taking has an end too. Zorko remained with us. He still is the best dressed among us. His mother is a prostitute in Paris, and she used to send him very beautiful clothes. Now I am something like a mother to him. I walk him around in his stroller. I explain to him various things while he watches me with his beautiful eyes. Too sad he won't live long. The doctors have already told us so. Well then, let him at least have a good life. In a care home like ours, the mother is the most important thing. I don't know how it is outside, but they might have other important things. Not us here. Do not rush to shed tears, though. Perhaps you think I've seen my mother. Wrong. One day they packed my luggage, promised me a wonderful surprise. I was beyond myself with happiness. Dimo came in with his car. Desi sat on my right side. Tanya sat on my left. Tanya is something like a nurse of the nurses in our care home, and off we went. Hello, world, I'm coming to you, and not just coming, but waiting for my surprise as well. Thoughts like that were swirling in my head. Suddenly I looked out. Wait a minute, we're not going to Sofia. Where are we going to? I asked them. You'll see, it's a surprise, both Tanya and Desi answered me. Dimo gave me a smile in the mirror, his eyebrows jumping. It must be something big, I told myself, and leaned back in my seat. We passed a small town, but we didn't stop there. Our journey continued through some bushes. The trees had shed their leaves. The road was bad. The car jolted along the ruined asphalt road, tilting over the curbs. Finally, we reached an old house, with small windows at odd places. Its roof was the only new thing about it. The municipality had built it, they told me. It all looked like a wrinkled old lady with a new feathered hat on. There, said Desi, her eyes sparkling. Go meet your mother. I looked at the wrinkled house in front of me. It was so unfamiliar. I wasn't too keen on entering, but Tanya took my right hand, Desi took my left hand, and they steered me to the door. A woman opened it. Her hair was tied in a bun, but locks were hanging everywhere out of it, and they were all dyed in orange, but only halfway through. The remaining part was grey. The woman took a look at me, took a look at Tanya and Desi standing at my sides, and gave me a hug. But she neither liked me, nor was she happy to see me. Her hands were limp like rubber gloves filled with cornstarch cream. When she pressed me to her bosom, I realized she didn't bathe too often. I bathe every day, all by myself. I brush my teeth, wash my hands, before laying the table for the others. But I know how an unwashed person smells. The air in the house was stale, keeping memories of dirty sheets, mould, and rancid food. 3 children were sitting on the floor, playing with a toy truck without wheels and a Barbie doll without a leg. As I entered, they raised their eyes to me and then lowered them back to the truck, as if nobody had entered. I didn't have anything for them, that's why. Yes, this woman with the half-orange hair was my mother. I understood that. She was their mother too. She gave birth to them after me. But who's counting more than 12? I've already told you that 12 is a big number. I couldn't remain in that forsaken place for much longer. Tanya and Desi were standing by the door, waiting for the miracle to happen. There would be no miracle. This wasn't my home. Take me back immediately to my real home, I told them, pulling them back to the car. I know what came out of my mouth. Bellowing, rumble, holler. I already told you oral speech is not my strength. I do better with my eyes. But they understood me. By saying mother, I don't mean the woman with the orange hair. I just want to say something wonderful. Mother means I'm warm, I'm happy. Our souls like each other. I love you. We are connected. That's what I want to say. What has this to do with the orange-haired woman? Our visitor approaches now one, then another of my friends, introducing herself, trying to talk with them. This is a little funny because if someone replies to her, it would be the first time. She doesn't look aside, though. She wants to see them. She sees them. She is trying to get to know them. Really? When you've met somebody once, do you think you already know all about them? I know all the residents here. The nurses know them. But for her, entering our home with those nylon shoe covers, there's no way of getting to know them. Because very soon she'll take off her nylon shoe covers, drop them into the unclean bucket, and return to the world outside, while we will remain in the world here. There is no way she can get to know us. But I see she's trying. Trying is a good start. I hugged her and called her Mother. I just wanted to encourage her, to call her Mother. Everyone who's doing a great job, the nurses included. Everyone deserves to hear a good word. However, I don't use this word too often. You shouldn't think that of me. When you use a word too often, it wears out, just like the sugar in the jar, spoon by spoon, and finally you are left with a hollow, transparent jar because whatever was in there got eaten. But New Year's Eve, New Year's Eve, we throw a great party. We dress beautifully. I peel the potatoes for the garnish. Tanya brings meatballs, and we have lutenitsa, bananas, and sour cabbage on the table. We have arranged our Christmas tree. Ludmil and Ashime from Vyara Center are with us. There are presents, music in every room. It's all so wonderful. It's overwhelming. And then I can't contain myself, and I start crying. I do it every year, repeating, Mother, Mother. I know I make everybody anxious, and I want to stop, but I can't. Such sorrow heaves up in me. They ask me what's the matter, and I go again, Mother, Mother. For the woman with the orange hair? Of course not. Mother, as I told you, means I'm warm, I'm happy, our souls like each other, I love you, we are connected. I cry for every moment I didn't have this, and for every moment I did. Because I know this heart, with its open door, won't take me too far. But while I'm here, I'll be like a mother to them all, almost like a real mother, just a tiny bit less. Call me Sister Gergana. Translated from the Bulgarian by the author.
This text was created with the financial support of the European Union and is part of the short story collection, The Voices of Our Silence.